make yourself comfortable. So before we begin, I want you to know that in this session, what you're sharing during this session will remain confidential. So, however, confidential will may need to be broken if there is a serious risk of harm, like to yourself or another people. So, is that clear for you?
Yes, that's clear.
Nice. So today we have about 15 minutes together. Okay. So my role is to provide you a safe and non-judgmental space for you to discuss what happened to you recently. So what would you like to share today?
Recently, I've been feeling very anxious about my studies. I keep overthinking everything, especially my assignments and also presentations.
So you have been experiencing a lot of anxiety because your mind keeps focusing on what could go wrong with your academic work, right?
Yeah, even when I keep prepare, I feel like something bad will happen.
Oh, it sounds so exhausted for you. Because you spending so much time to prepare and still feel that you are not prepared enough.
Yeah, sometimes I can't even sleep because I keep imagining myself making mistakes.
It sounds so exhausting for you because you spend so much time to prepare, but you still not enough.
Yeah, sometimes I can't even sleep because I keep thinking that I will perform badly.
So how has this anxiety affected your daily life apart from your sleep, like maybe your eating schedule or anything?
Mainly concentration. I
Mm-hmm.
find it difficult to concentrate. I keep checking my work many times. I keep checking everything repeatedly. And sometimes I avoid to start assignment because I'm scared that it won't be enough.
So your fear of producing imperfect work causes you to repeatedly check your work, doubt yourself, and sometimes you avoid to start the beginning, right?
Yeah. And then when I procrastinate, I find that makes me more anxious.
Oh, then you seem so frustrated because the behavior that you use to avoid anxiety eventually make you feel more anxiety or more nervous about it.
Yeah, it feels like a cycle.
Okay, so today we can use a rational emotive behavioral therapy, which is REBT, as you know. So to understand this cycle, REBT suggests that an event does not directly cause our emotional response. Our belief about the event strongly influence how we feel and react. So we can examine this through ABC model, which is important for REBT. So are you feel comfortable for this?
Yes, I think I can try.
Okay, then nice. Then we will begin with A, which represent the activating event. Can you describing a recent situation that caused you to feel anxious?
Last week my lecturer announced that there will be an individual assignment, and as soon as I heard that, I started to feel anxious.
Was the presentation scheduled for the same day for announce?
No, it was scheduled the following next week.
So what happened in your mind when your lecturer announced the presentation?
I started to imagining myself standing in front of the class and like making fool of myself. I thought of my classmate might laugh at me because I look stupid.
Therefore, the activating events was your lecturer announcing the individual presentations. Although the presentation had not yet happened yet, but your mind already like predict the situation, the event, in a negative outcome.
Yeah, nothing had happened yet, but I already feel like panicking.
So, if I give you on a scale 1 to 10, which marks you will give for this anxiety?
I think around 8.
Okay, so did you realize any physical symptom like any headache or anything?
I think I can feel my heart was beating fast. My hands keep sweating and also my stomach feel uncomfortable.
That sounds so frightening. So your body also reacted as to the imagined event, like everything was already happened. Okay, it's okay. So now we will look at the B in ABC model, so which represents your belief about the event. What were you telling yourself about the presentation?
I was thinking that I must give the presentation well, I must perform well, and if I make a mistake, everyone will think I'm stupid.
So you believe that you absolutely had to perform perfectly, and that making a mistake will make you looks like not smarter, not smart as your classmate.
Yeah, I thought if I got a low mark, it will mean that I was a failure.
When you say I'm a failure, do you mean failing one presentation or failing as a person?
Failing as a person. I know it may sound like dramatic, but that is how I feel.
So it doesn't sound dramatic to me. It tells me how strongly you connect academic performance with your personal worth.
My parents always expect me to do well, so I don't want them to will disappoint me.
So you care deeply about your parents' opinions and the possibility of disappointing that makes the presentation feel even more threatening.
Yes, I feel that I need to make them proud.
So let me check whether I understand correctly. The situation was an upcoming presentations, and your belief included I must perform perfectly. Everyone will judge me if I'm making a mistake, and a low mark mean I am a failure and will disappoint my parents. Is that true?
Yeah, that is true.
Okay, so let's move on to C, which refers to the emotional and behavioral consequences of those beliefs. What emotions did you experience?
I felt anxious, scared, embarrassed, and also disappointed to myself.
And how did those emotions influence your behavior?
I kept changing my slide. I kept repeating my lines because I thought that I'm not enough. I practiced my lines, my script many times, but I couldn't continue because I kept criticizing myself. I also avoided asking my friends for help because I don't want them to know that I am struggling.
So you felt intensely anxiety and embarrassment, which led to repeated checking, like doubt yourself, self-criticism, like avoidance and isolation from people who might have, like, who might that will supported you.
Yes. and then I had less time to prepare. That made everything worse.
So you seem so disappointed because you wanted your presentations uh, to reduce. You wanted your preparation to reduce the anxiety, but the perfectionism inside you made it even worse. Like when you try harder to prepare it effectively, right?
That's right.
So to summarize the ABC model, A was the presentation announcement, B was the belief that you must perform perfectly, and that making a mistake that will make you as a failure. So C was intense anxiety, physical discomfort, and repeated checking, procrastination, and awaiting support.
That's right.
So the next step is D, disputing the questioning the irrational beliefs. We are not saying that the presentation is unimportant. Instead, we are examining whether your beliefs are logical, realistic, and helpful. Does that make sense for you?
Yes.
So let's examine the belief like I must give a perfect presentation. What evidence show that a presentation must be completely perfect to be acceptance?
I don't really have an evidence. I just feel that it needs to be perfect, and I want a good grade.
So for you, for your opinion, is it possible to receive a good grades like while you maybe accidentally making one or two mistake in your presentation?
Yes, I think so. I've seen many of my classmates makes like failure when they're presenting, and they still get a good marks.
So in this situation, when your classmate make a mistake in their presentation, will you immediately think there was no smart, like there was stupid or what?
No. Usually I understand because everyone get nervous.
So that's interesting. You allow other people to be imperfect, but you must be 100% perfect for others people.
Oh, I never thought it that way. But yes, I noticed that I am much harder on myself.
So how does it feel to recognize the differences?
A little unfair. I wouldn't say those things to a friend, but I say them to myself all the time.
You are beginning to realize that your internal expectation may be harsh than your expectations you place on others.
Yes.
So now let's examine the thought. If I receive a low mark, I am a failure. Does one disappointing result describe yours entire life, like your identity as a person?
Logically, no. It is only one result.
Have you ever performed poorly at something or later improve?
I did once perform poorly, on a test, but after getting feedback, I performed much better on the next week.
What does that experience suggest about mistakes and failure?
It suggests that a mistake doesn't make me a failure. It can show me that I need to more improve and be better.
So a poor performance may be disappointing, but disappointment is different from being worthless. So your performance can be evaluated without judging your whole identity.
Yeah, that makes sense. But I still feel like people will judge me.
It is possible that someone may notice a mistake, But does noticing a mistake necessarily means that the person will negatively judge you entire your personal character?
Not really. I think they might forget it after the presentation.
And even if one person judge you negatively, would that be unpleasant or completely, unbearable?
It would be unpleasant, but I could survive it.
Good. So RBT distinguishes between saying I don't want this to happen and saying this must never happen and I cannot cope if it does. Which statement is more realistic?
The first one, I prefer not to make mistakes, but I think I can cope.
Alright. But it seems today's session is almost come to the ending. Did you want to add anything before the session end?
I think for now, no.
Alrighty, then we will have the next session on next Thursday, 8 a.m. to 12. We will have a longer session for your therapy. Is that okay for you?
Okay.
So today's session end here and see you next Thursday.
Alright. Thank you.